Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, Kolb aircraft destroyed by tornado. Philippine Mars arrives at Pima Air and Space Museum. National Guard crew lands Blackhawk to snag elk antlers. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Helen Lee. Let's get into today's stories. Kolb aircraft destroyed by tornado. The sport aircraft business can be a tough one, especially when Mother Nature decides you need special attention and not in a good way. The folks at London-Corbin Airport's Kolb aircraft reached out to us yesterday to let us know they were all safe and accounted for, but that their manufacturing facility was pretty much wiped out. Kolb reported that, quote, "As of right now, the death toll in London, Kentucky is at 9. None of our staff were injured in the storm. The factory facility was hit by the tornado and destroyed. We were able to salvage most raw materials, tools, and jigs from the wreckage. We are moving everything we are able to save to an off-site location until we determine a new place to operate out of. We intend to continue serving our loyal customer base, although this process of rebuilding may take several weeks. We are so thankful to all of the people who have reached out to offer support or their thoughts and prayers," end quote. Several airports in the area reported serious damage and the loss of a number of aircraft, with visual evidence of extensive hangar and aircraft destruction. Recovery will be neither swift or inexpensive. One media outlet described the appearance of the airport as resembling a landfill. After the break, EAA releases a tentative AirVenture Airshow lineup.
I'm currently using the Hartzel Talon, by far the best aerobatic propeller ever come out.
I use the Trailblazer. It adds performance to the Super Decathlon and dependability, and it's rugged.
Hartzel's been an excellent partner for Whip Air, just in terms of your product support as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demand.
It's helping us all have better performing airplanes.
It's such a proud honor to fly behind that propeller.
Looking for a new generation of proven and efficient aviation power plants that boast modern engineering, electronic ignition, and both direct and gear drive systems? With 100 horsepower to 240 horsepower, the Skyline and Redline engines offer uncommon value in an overpriced industry. Whether you are looking for fixed wing or rotor, MW Fly Americas has been established to service the American market with dedication and expertise. MWFlyAmericas.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. EAA releases a tentative AirVenture Airshow lineup. With this year's AirVenture being just over 2 months away, EAA has decided to give us all a little pick-me-up by releasing preliminary lineups for all 9 air shows. They will feature a wide variety of themed events, special appearances, and out-of-the-box performances. AirVenture Oshkosh 2025 officially kicks off on Monday, July 21st at Whitman Regional Airport. Doors open at 0700, and there's no slow start to the event. Day 1's air show will feature everything from Team Redline's RV-8s to the U.S. Air Force's F-22 and F-35 demonstrations. U.S. House and Senate brings bills enabling supersonic flight. Senators Ted Budd and Tom Tillis from North Carolina, Utah's Mike Lee, and Tim Sheehy of Montana were joined by Representatives Sharice Davids of Kansas and Troy Nehls of Texas in introducing bills in their respective chambers to legalize supersonic flight over land, which has been outlawed since 1973 due to the effects of sonic booms. In the Senate, S-1759, the Supersonic Aviation Modernization Act, or SAM, would enable the operation of civilian supersonic flights within U.S. airspace under certain conditions. ASA releases new edition of Private Pilot Oral Exam Guide. ASA has released its updated 14th edition of the Private Pilot Oral Exam Guide by Jason Blair that covers all the knowledge required for the oral portion of the Private Pilot Practical Exam or Check Ride. The Oral Exam Guide series has assisted students and instructors for many years. It's arranged in a question and answer format so the instructor can play the role of the DPE as students rehearse appropriate answers to any questions the designated pilot examiner may ask. Boeing grabs another big deal in the Gulf region. Boeing has secured a 3rd aircraft order as a result of President Trump's visit to the Persian Gulf region after Etihad placed an order for 28 wide-body aircraft. With the $14.8 billion agreement, Etihad will purchase a mix of the 787 Dreamliners and 777X aircraft, all powered by GE Aerospace engines. Boeing announced earlier this week it had secured orders from Saudi Arabia's Avilis, as well as a $200 billion order from Qatar Airways, the largest order Boeing has ever received. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Philippine Mars arrives at Pima Air and Space Museum. The final World War II flying boat has completed its tedious trek across Arizona, arriving in Tucson in preparation for its permanent home in the Pima Air and Space Museum. This aircraft, the Philippine Mars, was dismantled for transport after its last flight in February. The Martin JRM Mars is a 4-engine flying boat designed for the U.S. Navy during World War II. 7 were built in total, but only 2 remain today, the Hawaii Mars and the Philippine Mars. The Hawaii Mars remained operational until 2016, taking its final flight on August 11, 2024, before being put on display at the British Columbia Aviation Museum. The Philippine Mars will become the centerpiece of the Pima Air and Space Museum in Tucson, Arizona. The Philippine Mars attempted its final journey in early January 2025, but was forced to turn back after experiencing an engine failure. On February 10th, after a series of repairs and test flights, the Philippine Mars departed from San Francisco and headed south on the California coast. It made its final landing in Arizona's Lake Pleasant. From there, the legendary bird spent weeks being dismantled for transport to Tucson. Boneyard Safari, which specializes in transporting historic aircraft, hauled the Philippine Mars through Casa Grande, Maricopa, and the West Valley. After these messages, National Guard crew lands Blackhawk to snag elk antlers.
Meet the first of a new generation of the M-Class family. The M700 Fury. An aircraft worthy of the name, an indomitable force. The M700 Fury transcends traditional limits. With more power, blistering performance, a finely appointed interior, and the luxury of what matters most. Time. Experience the Fury. Join the legacy.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, 2-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low-maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with the Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.
Welcome back. National Guard crew lands Blackhawk to snag elk antlers. 3 Montana Army National Guard members are facing criminal trespassing charges after authorities say they landed a Blackhawk helicopter on private property to collect elk antlers. The penalty is a $185 fine. The incident occurred during a training flight from Billings to Helena. According to Sweetgrass County Sheriff Alan Ronneberg, the crew briefly touched down in a mountain pasture at the base of the Crazy Mountains and picked up 2 shed antlers and 1 old elk skull with antlers still attached. The value of the recovered antlers was estimated between $300 and $400. While shed hunting is popular in Montana, and antlers can be legally collected on public land, taking them from private property, even if you're doing it in a pretty unique way, typically requires landowner permission. In this case, none was given. The ranch's owner, Linda McMullen, learned about the landing when a neighbor called to report a military helicopter parked on her land. She recalled asking, "Are you joking?" All 3 crew members received misdemeanor citations. 2 were cited for entering posted private land to collect antlers, while the 3rd was also cited for landing a military aircraft on the land, not usually part of your standard shed hunting technique. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.